Hey YouTube, welcome back. Today we continue our series in system design fundamentals. Today we will talk about the content delivery network, or as known as CDN. So in the previous video we talked about the cache, and today we will talk about the CDN. So let's just copy this one here, because I guess CDN, DN, and yeah. Can I ungroup this one? Because I don't like to group. Yeah. I guess it's something to ungroup. Ungroup. Okay. I don't know. Let's just see how can we do it. So let's talk about the CDN and what is a CDN and why we need it for. So a CDN is a network of geographical dispersed servers used to deliver static content. CDN servers cache static content like images, videos, CSS, JavaScript files, and etc. And I want to show you how the CDN works at a high level. So when we have you know what? I don't like that. Let's just delete this one. Delete. Yeah. So we have. Oh no. Let's say have a shape here. This one. Oh great. Make it white, please. And yeah. So let's call this user. Okay. And this user is trying to get an image from a server. Sometimes Miro annoys me. It's taking like an image from like the origin. It's trying to get an image from there. And basically, let's say this image, the server of the image lives in the United States and the server is in Germany. The user is in Germany, so it takes too much time for the user to retrieve or read this image. So what is the CDN doing here? So So when a user visits a website, a CDN server closest to the user will deliver the static content intuitively. The further the users are from the servers, the slower the website loads. For example, if the CDN servers are in San Francisco, or users in Munich will get content faster than the user in, I don't know where farther. Like Munich is already far away. Let's say that if you are in New York, you can get you can get the response way if from to Kentucky or like to San Francisco way more faster than getting from Munich, because it's so far away. Munich is in Germany. So for example, so how we solve this problem? So basically we have the CDN server, which is basically a server. It's closest to the user, and instead of the user just accessing the original, it gets its let's just say it get the static content from it's get the image from the CDN which is closest to the user. So we will have way more better we will reduce the latency and the overall performance of the application. So let's just try to think about how this works. So let's say that let's just talk about in details how this works. Actually, if you look at the cache system video, you'll find this one is pretty similar, because actually they have the same concept. So user tries to get an image by using an image URL. For example, the URL's domain is provided by the CDN. provider. Okay, the following two image URLs are samples used to demonstrate the what image URLs looking in Amazon. So like I'm trying to show it to you. For example, like HTTPS slash example slash image dot jpeg, for example, slash example.com. For example, this is how the image looks like, the image path. So if the CDN server does not have this image, for example, in the image cache, the CDN server requests the file from its original. So from the server, which can be a web browser or online storage like Amazon S3 or blob storage. And I will talk about blob storage in further videos. So the original returns the image to the CDN. The original returns the image to the CDN, which includes optional HTTP header time to live, which describe how long this image will be cached. The CDN caches the image and returns it to the user. The image remains in the cache in CDN until the time to live expires. If we have another user, for example, user 2 try to access the same image, it will get directly from the CDN. Okay, so the image is returned from the daemon directly. So basically, user 1, let's say you call it the user 1 and this user 2, and so user 1 try to access an image, so it will go to the CDN. If the CDN doesn't have this image, it will fetch it from its origin and give it back to the user 1. And in the meanwhile, the CDN will store the image in its memory, the cache memory, and when user 2 access request the same image, it will be sent directly from the CDN, not from the origin. So this will help to improve the overall functionality and the overall latency. So we also, as we talked about the cache, we talk about important thing that we should consider it while using the cache. So we'll do the same with the CDN. So cost, for example, CDNs are run by third-party providers most of the time, and you are charged for data transfers and in and out of the CDN. Caching infrequently used assets providers no significant benefits, so you should consider moving them out of the CDN because we want to reduce the cost. Setting an appropriate cache expiry for time sensitive content. Setting a cache expiry time is important. The cache expiry time should neither be too long or too short. If it's too long, the content might no longer be fresh. If it's too short, it can cause repeat reloading of content from origin servers on the CDN. We had the last thing, which is the CDN fallback. You should consider how your website or application copes with the CDN failure. If there is a temporary CDN outage, clients should be able to detect the problem and request resources from the origin. The last thing, the invalidating files, you remove a file from the CDN before it expires by performing one of the following operations. Maybe we do invalidating the CDN object using API provider by CDN vendors, for example, or use object versioning to serve a different version of the object to version an object. You can add a parameter to the URL like v1, v2, v3, things like that. And yeah, that's it. So let's just see where we do that CDN, where we put the CDN. So let me just try to, you know what? Let me try to copy this one. And let's just put it back. And let me copy it here. And let me just delete these two things. And basically, We have this CDN. Okay. The CDN will be connected to the user, and yeah, okay, that's working. I want to add the cache here also, so I will not forget anything. Cache, and I will give it this color and this color, and let's just make it this color. Yeah, and yeah, and let's make the color different, so it's easier for us to understand it. And yep, and this one, this cache is xing the slaves one by one. Oh no. And let's add a new one. No, this has no need. No, let's just yeah, I guess this one is better. But let's just take this one's quite down. Yeah, and let's just put the cache in between like that. Yeah, and can we put this one here? And can we make the cache quite smaller? So like that. Yeah, and also let's just, yeah, and yeah. So let's talk about the CDN, and I'll just make it bold, and let's just talk about here. So number one, the static assets like JavaScript, CSS image are no longer served by web servers. They are fetched from the CDN for better performance. Two, the database load is lightened by caching the data, and yeah, that's the main thing that we want to talk about when it comes to CDN. And yeah, that's it for today's video, and I hope you liked my description. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you will never miss a video. And see you guys in future problems, or future videos, or future whatever it will be future for. And yeah, if you like my content, give me a comment and yeah, just well done, you're good, things like that, because that's like push my my ego and push my self-esteem, so I can, yeah, okay, that's great. So let's just put here, and yeah, that's it for this video. See you guys.